athletic director, principal, and head coach of the football team.
Yeah, Rick Foust has quite the career just in Homer Center, and he continues it out east, as they say. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, Jack. How are you?
All right, I'm doing well. Well, a little under the weather, but I'm hanging in there. No complaints. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good. Can you believe it's been 25 years since the '94 team got together and got that win for you?
No, but the years are starting to run together, right, Jack?
No question. Todd's got something for you here.
Yeah, well, Coach, I'm just looking at the record itself and the guys who were on that team, and I'm saying to myself, when Rick has really good dreams at night, these guys must be in them, because you had quite a group of guys there that year, didn't you?
Absolutely great group of guys. I talked to Mark the other day and talked about just how unselfish they were as a group of football players, and how they really perceived the kids around them as stars instead of themselves as stars. And they were so wonderful to work with.
Absolutely. And Jack, of course, Jack called the championship game, and you were in the booth for the season. Jack, you got to watch Coach Foust and his crew down there.
Oh, I got to watch them for a few years, that's for sure. They finished 11-2, and for the fans that maybe don't remember, and you came away with a win, 3-0. That District 6 championship at Mansion Park over Bell Wananda's 3-0 on the field goal there by Mr. John Long. This, when you think about this team, you talk about the chemistry and the cohesiveness of this team. Was that what really made them extra special, you think?
It truly, truly was. I talk about the fact that, these were kids who would walk down the hallway at school and say to teachers, "Hey, are you going to come to the game Friday night? Would you like to come watch us play?" And it wasn't that arrogant, "Hey, boy, if you get to come watch us play, and you're lucky." It was that, "Hey, we'd really like to have you come watch us play and be part of all of this." And I think, when they went up to teachers and said that, we had great attendance at our ball games, and I attribute a lot of that to these kids and just how they handled it.
Coach, you got late in that season, and you're just cruising along. Then comes that Blairsville game in Week 9, and you lost that football game. But the guys didn't seem to, that didn't seem to get them down. They were right back the next week.
Truthfully, Jack, that was a tremendous blessing to lose that game. You hate to ever say that, and people say it all the time. Hey, a loss can really hurt you, but we had gotten to the point after 8 weeks that we were kind of starting to think that we could walk on water and stuff, and so probably didn't prepare as well for that football game as we could have and or should have. We already had a spot in the playoffs, and that wasn't a concern any longer. So kind of left them flounder a little bit, and we got beat 7-0 on a screen pass. So obviously we had seen a lot of other screen passes through the season, and they didn't hurt us so badly. So I just think it was we didn't prepare quite as well for that ball game, and I think it put our feet back on the ground to get ready for the rest of the season.
I'm just going to bring up, Rick, some of the players' names from those, fans who are listening in the area. Say the '94 Homer Center team. Now, who was on that team? Well, Noah Christian was your quarterback. Of course, John Zemetsky, the fullback and linebacker for you. Eric Mydock, wide receiver. Steve Romancic, Dennis Capitosti, Dave Boats. How about the guy named Ben McAdoo? Huh? He was on that team too. Those are some great names there for you, huh?
Yeah, they are. And Jack, I get confused about players, which years they played, and all of those things, because I've now gone through a whole lot of seasons. But there were some other great names on that team, and Sticky Lawson was there, and Ray Easley. And these two guys were these little wee guys who came out, and they just wanted to play the game for us. There are names that you don't look at, you don't see. Dave Reed was on that team. Davey Bose was on that team. And I'm not going to go over all the names because if I start doing that, like I say, I'll start adding kids that played 3 years before that or 2 years after that or whatever the case might be.
Hey, Rick,
But no, they were great kids.
Rick, there's a kid named Hilliard on that team.
There was a kid named Hilliard on that team, and he did score during that season. So that was probably that was one of the other things that happened there is we had a lot of kids on the football field who felt like they were really part of that team. And they were so much a part of that team, Jack, that if you would get through the district championship game, you would find that every kid on our sideline that was dressed but one played in that ball game. In a 3-0 district championship win, every kid on our team was on the field at least one time.
That's great. Here, Todd has something for you here.
Well, Coach, first I'm looking at the scores, especially early in the season. You had a couple of really tight games, but I'm looking at the sizes of the guys. You were not an especially huge team back then. What did you know about that team as the season was going on, or what did you learn about them, about how to play the game with this group of guys? I know coaches have to adjust to personnel, and you sure seem to have done it that year.
Well, what happened is, you do what you have to do, but oftentimes, 6'4", 285 is really a nice football player for you, and you'd love to have a whole bunch of them playing in a whole bunch of places. 40 people you'd love to have. Hey, we had some 5'6" and 5'7" guys, and we had Johnny Zemetsky who played inside linebacker for us, and Johnny was probably on a good day a 5'3" kid in the 40. But I will tell you that there weren't many people who got to run away from John because he was smart, he moved well, he read keys well, and when he got to you, you knew one thing: you were going to be tackled. So, I mean, those were the kind of things that those kids did. Big hearts, they helped each other, they protected each other. They did some really really good things for each other.
Rick, let me bring you up to date here. You cannot make the festivities tomorrow because you are busy. And for fans that don't know, you are the defensive coordinator for your son, Eric, at Shippensburg High School, right?
I am. I don't know if he would call me his defensive coordinator. He tries to keep me in line too. but I do get to coach defense, and that truly is what I prefer to do anyway.
Listen, let me bring up an offensive player at Shippensburg High School that we have as a freshman here at IUP, Adam Hauser.
He was also a defensive player at Shippensburg.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind, and I'm sure Coach Tortorella knows that, but I talked to him yesterday briefly at practice, and I alerted him I was going to speak with you. And now, is this correct? He has a brother who's playing on your team now?
He has a brother who's a wide receiver defensive back for us right now, and his brother is lightning quick with great hands.
Is he a senior?
No, he's a junior.
He's a junior.
Listen to Jack over there recruiting, Rick.
Yeah, I'm trying to recruit here because Adam is playing already. He's been incorporated as one of like 5 true freshmen that Coach Tortorella is using, and he is the future, although he's playing now. So that's really great, and you guys are having a tremendous year out there, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing real well, Jack. Hopefully we're going to get in. As we work through the whole process here, we're going to try to get into an IUP game and get a chance to watch Adam play. We have a young man also playing at Ship University here, so I know my son and his son are going up this weekend to watch this young man play. And Eric, my son, has a son who's a senior this year, Noah. Noah plays offensive guard for us and inside linebacker for us. And Noah's a discus thrower for us at 150-plus feet in the discus. So we've had fun with Noah, and so Noah's been going through visitations to look at some places. And so for the last 3 weeks, he's been at other colleges. So this week, they're going to take some time off and go watch one of our young people play, Cameron Tenner at Ship University. Cameron plays defense there, but we've been real. Eric's done a great job down here. we've been real successful, over the last probably 10 years, give or take, maybe a little longer than that even. This year we've opened up 5-0. Our starting defense, Jack, has given up one touchdown in 5 games.
Wow. Well, you can beat that.
So we're working.
Yeah. Todd, go ahead. You have something?
We're almost out of time, Rick, but I wanted to ask you this. Since all of these guys are coming back and you won't be able to be with them tomorrow night, I know that you do get a chance from time to time to catch up with former players and probably much more than we even realize. But this particular group of guys, I know that they must have been really special to you, and you've been able to keep that connection over the years with a few of them. Are there some guys that will be there tomorrow night that you have any regular contact with?
No, I'm going to tell you the truth, Todd. Not too many. I have contact with Ben, and I don't imagine Ben's coming tomorrow night. I know he's doing 100 other things that he's trying to figure out. But I have contact with Ben every now and then. Some of the other ones, But the interesting part is, the nicest thing about coaching and doing the things that I've done is, these kids don't get any older. So they're all 16, 17, and 18 to me. And that's what I see. And what happens is, my wife's a big Facebook fan, so she follows everything she can there, and she keeps me up to date on many, many things. Sometimes things that make me sad, as with this 1994 team, there were some situations there that, with a couple of the young men that have been real difficult. But, we try to keep tabs on things. Eric Schoolteddy is a good line of information for us. Eric didn't play for me, but he's in contact often down here with my son, and we've had a chance to see Eric a few times. Eric Pulaski was down, and his father and son down at our ball game this week, just to watch us play and to talk. Dell Patterson spends a lot of time down here with us at times. So I get a chance to see some of those people. Really and truthfully, during the football season, my son doesn't let me out too much. He makes me do a lot of work. And then outside of football season, I have this person called a wife. And man, outside of football season, she has a lot of work for me to do. But I do like to hear about the kids, and I do like to hear the information. And I just like to hear when, the kids are doing well. And tonight, when these guys get together, hey, I'm sure if John Long were there tonight, that 58-yard field goal he made to win that district championship game, under all that pressure, and I'm sure that Stevie Romancy probably ended up with like 340 yards instead of 148 or whatever it was. Hey, there are a lot of stories, and I'll tell you right now, when they get together tonight, I sure hope they get to tell each other all those stories and how great they really were, because I think that's what it's all about right now. That's a tremendous memory for them, tremendous memory for me.
Beautiful.
Okay, Rick, great job. Thank you. I remember it like it was yesterday, but it isn't. So, hey, congrats.
It isn't. Hey, you guys take care.
Okay, you too. Thanks for spending time with us.
Hey, not a problem. Thanks.
There you go. That's Rick